Hello everyone, it's me, Kidenatsu, the one and only, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the changes that are going to be made to Ellen Jo as of the 2.0 update of Zenless Zone Zero that's right around the corner. In this video we're going to be discussing the changes being made to her kit, as well as the additions being made to her kit, and exactly how these changes and additions affect her gameplay and performance. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. First, let's discuss the changes being made to Ellen's core passive and additional ability, starting off with her core passive. Her original core passive basically stated that whenever you did her dash attack out of roaming state or used her basic attack, those moves would benefit from an additional 100% crit damage. This was essential to a lot of her rotations and made it so the majority of her damage came from the use of her basic attacks, as you could perform those more frequently and they had higher damage multipliers. But now, with the recent changes being made in 2.0, the moves that benefit from this extra 100% crit damage have been greatly extended to basically every move she has in her kit. Her chain attack, her ultimate, the two new moves that are being added, her regular dash attack, all of it will now benefit off of the extra 100% crit damage, which on its own is incredibly helpful and will significantly boost Ellen's damage. Next, let's talk about her additional ability. Ellen's additional ability provides her with a pretty good increase in her overall DPS. The only problem is that due to the limiting requirements that are attached to this additional ability, Ellen is frequently left without it on a lot of her best teams. Teams like Lighter Astra Ellen, Trigger Caesar Ellen, and even more niche teams like Xing Yi Lucy Ellen are all left without Ellen's additional ability. But with the changes being made to her kit in 2.0, they've added an extra requirement to her additional ability, with this extra requirement being the requirement of a singular stunner. With this change, all of the teams that we just mentioned will now have Ellen with her additional ability. This is really good and really helps to improve ease of use when it comes to team building and forming effective team comps. Now let's move over to talking about the new moves being added to Ellen Jo's kit. First, let's talk about the new move, Basic Attack, Icy Blade. This move is actually ripped straight from Hollow Zero, where you can get the gear that gives you Frostblade if you're using Ellen, and it's basically the exact same move, activates in the exact same way, and all the properties are the same, except for the fact that it doesn't have Defense Shred anymore. It had Defense Shred in Hollow Zero, but now that it's part of her base kit, it doesn't have Defense Shred. That's something really important to note. Next, let's talk about the other new move being added to Ellen's kit, this one being called Basic Attack, Glacial Blade Wave. This attack seems to be a move Ellen can perform either after a charge dash attack or after parrying with a charge dash attack, more on that later. And this move also benefits from the 100% extra crit damage from her core passive, as well as having a pretty good damage multiplier, meaning that whenever you can, outside of the stun window, it's most likely going to be worth it to use it. Now, as I just mentioned, Ellen can parry using her dash attacks. This is also a new addition. The way it seems to function is that during the startup to Ellen's dash attack, more specifically the one you can perform coming out of roaming state, not just the base one, during the startup of this specific dash attack, you will be able to perform a parry, or rather if an enemy hits you during the startup, you parry them. The way this works is very similar to the way it works for Miyabi and Yanagi, where certain enemies will be knocked back and you'll be granted invincibility frames for like a certain period of time. This is really helpful because one of the main problems with Ellen was generating her resources due to the fact that the process of generating her resources left you extremely vulnerable to enemy attacks. Now with the addition of a parry, this has completely remedied that problem. So that's basically everything when it comes to the buffs and changes being made to Ellen Jo as of 2.0. But how exactly do these changes and buffs affect her gameplay? Ellen is already a character that loves being on fields for long periods of time, but with the addition of these new moves for Ellen to dance around, it introduces a new layer of skill expression to her various playstyles. Whether you play her as a burst DPS or an on-field DPS, these changes will affect you and will make your experience better. Although, it is important for me to note that her general gameplay style and gameplay plan for in-stun rotations hasn't changed that much, due to the fact that the majority of these moves function better out of stun than in stun, especially with the damage boost given to the ultimate. The tried and true ultimate, EX Special Basic, EX Special Basic, EX Special Basic will be dealing more damage than ever. Alright, now it's time for a TLDR. In summary, Ellen is getting buffs that include overall damage increases, increased team flexibility, higher skill expression, and a more prominent on-field presence. All of these changes form together to make Ellen a significantly more fun agent to play and a significantly more powerful agent to play. Alright, now we're at the end of the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. What do you think of Ellen's buffs? Is she tier 0? Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.